Alright, I think we're going to go live. So, hey everyone. Turn my monitor on, because I can't hear my own voice. There we go, that's a little bit better. And, hi, we're going to be playing Godzilla Destroy All Monsters Melee for the next hour, because, well, I'm starting weekly streams, and I'm in a Godzilla kind of mood, because today was a big day for Godzilla fans. At least it was for me. So, basically, Godzilla Destroy All Monsters Melee for the GameCube. This game was released in the early 2000s. I'm going to play as Godzilla 90s for this playthrough because, well, he was the guy in the thumbnail. So, the story here is that the Vortak are invading. This is a fighting game. It's just a goofy, silly little Godzilla fighting game, and it's a very, very good game for the GameCube, and it's on the Xbox as well, but it's not the version I have, so I'm not really worried about that. I have a lot of Godzilla stuff to talk about, though, so this is going to be a good excuse to just geek out on stream. Fair warning, though, the new Godzilla anime film came out today, and I just watched it. I just finished watching it about 10 minutes ago. It was strange, but I'll talk about that towards the end of this, like, run of story mode. Because, frankly, it's bizarre. But we'll start with the other stuff because, you know, there's a lot to say. This game's pretty for the GameCube, I think, at least in terms of character models. But, man, today was really big in terms of Godzilla news. Basically, kill Anguirus here. Basically, the viral marketing site for the new American Godzilla movie went up, which is a very big deal for me because, well, there's not going to be another major Japanese Godzilla movie for a while, so, wow, this guy's terrible. I wonder if I have the difficulty on easy or what. Yeah, there was a big viral marketing push for the new American Godzilla movie today, which I'm thrilled about because that movie is going to be cool, where we saw images of what some of the big major kaiju are going to look like, namely Godzilla, who we already know what he looks like because he was in the last Godzilla movie by the Americans, as well as Mothra. We have a general idea of what Mothra's going to look like, which is exciting. She's actually not playable in this game. I don't know why they made a Godzilla game where you can't play as Mothra when you have so many other monsters. Like, when you only play as Godzilla, like, you know, whatever. But, you know, Mothra's probably the second most iconic Godzilla monster aside from actual Godzilla. Wow, camera, can you not? But, wow, this guy, Anguirus is just not getting where I want him to be. But it's kind of hard to talk over a fighting game, isn't it? But anyway, you know, we see what Mothra's looking like. She's got bioluminescence, which is really weird, but I kind of dig it, even though it's not traditional. I'll just kill him off like this because it's funny. But even though that's kind of weird, and I'm not sure what to think about her glowing, her design looks like it's going to be pretty cool from what we've seen, but we don't know for sure yet because we haven't, you know, seen the nitty-gritty of it. Then there's Rodan, who looks like Rodan. They didn't really change much there. As long as they make Rodan look kind of cool. That's Rodan in the background there, the big Pteranodon. But it looks like they're going for a more fire-themed thing, which is actually fitting for the character because he had like a fiery thing in his original movie. Oh no, Megalon's gonna get me. Yeah. Megalon's annoying because he digs under the ground and just goes to town on you. It's very, very irksome. Wow, that launched me far, actually. I don't know what I was trying to do with that. This is one of my favorite fighting games on the GameCube, and it is my favorite Godzilla video game. Oh, that's not great. It's not a big deal, though. Oh, nice juggling there. Wow, I'm just wrecking poor Megalon. He doesn't have a chance. Oh, poor guy. He's just trying to come over to me to hurt me, and he can't. He can't even get a shot in. His movie is bad, though. Godzilla vs. Megalon is, like, the famously bad Godzilla movie. Like, I think it's the one people think of when they think of, like, cheesy, goofy Godzilla antics. If you jump over him, it tricks up his AI. I used to play this game a lot as a kid. I think this was my first exposure to the Japanese version of Godzilla, which is actually my favorite franchise. I like Godzilla more than just about anything else. Even more than, like, all the games and stuff that I'm into, and, like, Doctor Who, which is my favorite TV show. And there are other things I'm very into, but nothing quite touches Godzilla, which is just the best thing ever. At least in my opinion. He's just so goofy and dumb, but also super cool. What I got was a Rage power-up, which basically lets me, My attacks are more powerful, and I can eventually... It's a super move. I'm going to let the meter go down pretty low before I waste it. I'll use it now. Godzilla gets like a giant shockwave, which is supposed to be his nuclear pulse, which is from some of the 90s movies. Which makes sense because this is that version of Godzilla. You can also place the 2000s Godzilla, who I'm not going to bother with. Purely because, like, you know, what's the point of playing as Godzilla twice? Because I'll probably do a couple of playthroughs of this and just ramble about Godzilla the whole time. But... Hey, he's going to be in the new Godzilla movie. I was hoping he'd show up. I really like what they're doing with King Ghidorah. He's super cool. I mean, he's terrible. If you actually look at his design, he doesn't make any sense. He's got 3 heads and 2 tails, and he's bipedal. Like, the whole thing is just completely unpractical, but he's so incredibly cool, like, regardless of the fact that his design makes no sense biologically and is really, really just not well thought out. But I love him anyway, so I'm excited. He also shoots lightning. It's not called lightning in continuity. They're gravity beams. But, you know, like, when he actually does it, it's so obviously just lightning in terms of how they draw the effect. Hey, look, he gets launched into a fence. One thing I didn't like as a kid were the big electrical fences around the arenas, because I was like, I want to explore the whole arena, which is completely impractical, obviously, for a GameCube game. To try and explore all of, you know, whatever city this is supposed to be. I don't actually know. I wasn't paying attention. It says at the beginning, I'm thinking Seattle, but I don't know. I think Seattle's in this game. I know New York's not, which really surprises me, but it just isn't. This game had 2 sequels as well, plus a GBA spinoff and a DS spinoff, but the GBA one's really good. The DS one is like the worst game ever. It's awful. It's literally one of the worst games I've ever played. Yeah, it's in Seattle. The AI really knows where power-ups are, which is pretty annoying, because I'm actually almost dead. I wasn't even paying attention to my health. But now Ghidorah's going to get that health, which won't really matter because I can just do this. Oh, no. He's taller than me, so his gravity beams can reach me. But like you can see there, it is clearly just lightning. That's the effect they go for. Oh, are you kidding me? Seriously? Wow, that was just beautiful luck on my part, wasn't it? It doesn't really matter because I'm just going to abuse the AI and trick him up and get him as much airtime as I can, because there's not a whole lot they can do out of the air. Ugh, that went badly for me. Oh, I lost. Wow. I didn't think I would lose at all in this run. Well, I thought I would lose to Destroya because he's broken, but we'll get to him later. But, man, I'm excited with what they're doing with Ghidorah. This is going to be a pretty spoilery stream. I have no real restraint on spoilers. Because, why would I? Hey, there's a UFO above us. Or is that Ghidorah? It might be Mothra. I don't actually know. Because Mothra sometimes flies over the arena if you have the right power-up. No, some sort of plane, I think. It is just a goofy, fun 3D fighter, though. It had 2 sequels, as I said earlier. Save the Earth, which is basically the same thing as this, but with more monsters, and it's a little floatier. I don't think it conveys a sense of scale as well. It's not as good, basically. And then Unleashed, which is much worse, at least the version I have on Wii. Because there's a PS2 version as well, but it's really lazy and doesn't do anything to change itself from the prequels. Or not prequels, but I guess predecessors would be technically the correct term. This game's a blast with 4 players, too. And the cool thing about it is that it's pretty faithful to the movies, not just in terms of, like, you know, the monsters being there, but in terms of their movesets, in terms of their sounds. It's crazy authentic. They did a lovely job with this game, and it's both of its sequels get that part right. Gigan, he's kind of half implied, not implied at all. But there's art of Rodan for the new movie, the King of the Monsters movie, and it looks Gigan totally looks like he's in it. I don't think it is him. Also, I don't know why he can teleport in this game, because he can't do that in anything else. Wow, he's just wrecking me. I didn't like Gigan much as a kid. but the older I get, the more I think he's really, really cool in like a really dumb way. Because his design is, again, really impractical, but he's a cyborg, obviously, with all the buzzsaws and stuff. I always thought the 2004 redesign of him was way cooler, where he's like all red and stuff. Which, if you don't know what that looks like, then, you know, that's not super useful. But he looks way cooler there, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Wow, way to go, guy. Just annihilating me. But yeah, this was my first exposure to Japanese Godzilla. I was born in '97. I'm 20. Most people my age were first introduced to Godzilla in the U.S. through the Matthew Broderick movie, which, you know, I'm nostalgic for as a result, but it's not exactly a good depiction of the character in any regard. It looks nothing like him. It acts nothing like him. I like Zilla. He's cool looking, but he's not Godzilla. So this game helped me get introduced to the actual franchise, and then a bunch of the movies were on demand. When I was little, and I watched them all on there. It was all like the 90s movies. That got me into it, too. Here's another one of the reboot boys. I'm really excited to see him in the reboot, actually. He's going to be really cool, I think. Although they're kind of overhyping him, because, I mean, he's not that cool of a monster, really. But, they're acting like he's the best thing ever in some of the promotional stuff. And I do like Rodan. He's cool, but he's just, you know, a big pterodactyl. And this is the 90s version of Rodan from Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2, which is a cool version of the character. But he's like different than the original, which is more what I think they're going for. So this isn't really an accurate representation of him. Because although it is cool that he can fly in this, but this isn't the version I think they're basing the new version off of. I think they're going more for you know, the original Showa era stuff, which is anything from basically pre-80s in terms of Godzilla movies. And, oh, great, the military froze me. They sometimes just freeze the monster that's ahead, which is really, really annoying. The AI has this sort of like the early Smash Brothers games where they know where items are going to spawn before they do. It's very annoying. The Xbox version of this game has these really ugly textures on all the monsters that I'm really happy the GameCube one doesn't. Another thing that's funny is that the right analog stick, the C stick, since it's GameCube, controls the monster's heads, so you can aim their breath, but you can just make Godzilla look around aimlessly. It's absolutely hilarious. I should probably actually focus on the match, though. I should probably get that rage power up. And then I got immediately frozen. Thanks. Well, then Rodan freed me, which is nice of him. Oh, I didn't realize freezing gets rid of rage. That's kind of interesting. I guess the rage is supposed to be like a reference to the 90s Godzilla vs. Destroya movie. I have no idea. I might lose again. I would be very upset. I haven't played this game in like years. Well, not years literally, probably like a year though. I don't play this game super often. It's like when I'm in the mood for it, it's the Godzilla game I go for usually, although the PS4 version of Godzilla is pretty fun as well. If you're a Godzilla fan, that game, I might stream it in the future when I have a little more of an audience, because that game is fun. It's just only if you like Godzilla, but it can be interesting to talk over just because there's nothing really going on in it. But now we're going to move on to LA. When we fight Destroya, I'll be very nervous. Because Destroya... Oh, there he is. There's the hardest guy in the whole game. I have no idea what difficulty I'm playing this on. It might be easy mode or something. Because I'm doing fairly well. Yeah, that's why he's impossible. He has this energy ability. He can just whip out a lightsaber horn. Like, I don't know how you're supposed to beat that. It's nearly impossible. And then I'll get frozen. Which, you know what? That is actually accurate, because Godzilla, this version of Godzilla did fight Destroy and get frozen a bunch. That was kind of the plot of that movie. Except in that movie, he was orange and overheating, and it was really cool. In a lame sci-fi Godzilla kind of way. When you fully power your breath up, it knocks the enemies down, which can be good, but it can also be really annoying. The only game in this trilogy where the breath acts differently is in the third one, where you can actually walk around with your breath, and it's a lot weaker. That's the Oxygen Destroyer, which is based on the 1954 movie, which is where Destroyer gets his name. Or Destoroya, but I don't like his name. It's really annoying to say. I'm like focusing so hard on trying to kill him. He's the most annoying enemy. I swear to God. As a kid, I could not beat him, even like on the easiest difficulty. He would just annihilate me. I'm better at video games now. I don't know what difficulty it's on. Again, I'm guessing like medium. I think I have him though. Although he launched an oxygen destroyer at me and it didn't do anything. Yeah, die. Idiot destroyer. Get out of here. The game sort of operates similarly to Smash Brothers. I guess I should talk about mechanics here. It operates kind of like Smash Brothers, where like the different directions on the stick, in conjunction with the button, will react differently. I particularly like how it works in this game, though, which is a little bit different than in Smash Brothers, in the sense that it's not like it gives you crazy special moves. It's just different influences on attacks. Because it's like, oh yeah. He has taser missiles that drain all of your energy, which obviously, if you can't tell, is how you use like your ranged attacks, like your atomic breath and whatnot. Which I think the only character that doesn't have like a true ranged attack is Anguirus. He has one, but it's like really lame. Unlike in the movies or in this game. Oh, now great, Mothra's gonna attack Godzilla and defend Ghidorah. That's reasonable. Actually, it is reasonable. But this is Mecha Ghidorah. He's technically different from Ghidorah. Oh, cool. Thanks, military. Always helping out Godzilla, right? Or, not this version, they never helped. Like, I was going to kind of sarcastically be like, they kind of did, but that's more in the 70s. They didn't really do that in the 90s movies. Mothra, get out of here. Will this kill Mothra? Let's find out. No. I'm trying to decide if it's even worth trying to kill Mothra. I can. You can knock her out of the sky. Well, not knock her out of the sky, but if you hit her with, like, your beam, she'll leave. She'll just bail on the fight. But I'm not really worried about doing that, because she does damage, but she doesn't do that much damage to me. She's more of a hindrance than anything. Actually, she's doing more damage than I thought she did. I'm going to try and kill her. Well, I failed, because I have very little atomic breath energy left. Ghidorah's just flying away like a little bitch. And Godzilla has terrible accuracy. Wow, he was like waiting for me to try and knock him out of the air. That was actually kind of cool. I don't think I'll be able to beat the game, because like you do run out of lives and then you have to start over. And quite frankly, I'm not good at this game, and I'm not good at any games really. I'm the worst at video games. I don't know why I do gaming on YouTube, because it's just constant humiliation. Yeah, he just annihilated me. That was pretty good. I'm glad. So I have 1 life left. I don't really want to use a continue, because I don't even know if there are continues in this game. I do know if you leave the game paused for too long, it goes back to the title screen, and I question that design decision, because, you know, it's horrible. One thing I like that they did in this game is they gave this Ghidorah the 90s sound effects, and the other Ghidorah his like 60s, 70s sound effects, which doesn't completely make sense, because they're the same Ghidorah design. They reused the character model and they based them both on the 90s. Oh great, I'm gonna lose all my stuff again. Yeah, Mecha Ghidorah is one of the best characters in the game. He's also one of the last to unlock. I think he's like the second last, or third last technically, because there's a secret character that we're not gonna see at all in this playthrough who's completely broken. London Bridge is falling down, except it's not yet. Oh, cool, Rage. Can I get it before Ghidorah? Yeah. I'm, like, desperate to not game over. I'd like to have some sort of skill, but I won't, because this game's hard. Or at least I'm terrible at it, so maybe it's not that as difficult. Oh, this is going pretty well for me so far. One thing I like about Rage attacks is that they tend to knock the enemies out of the air, and Godzilla's is really good. I think Godzilla has, like, the best one in the game, honestly. I probably could have done anything to avoid that, and I just sort of didn't. I know at G-Fest, this game has a bit of a competitive scene. That's the Godzilla convention, basically. It's out towards Chicago. But, like, I don't know if I'll ever get to go to G-Fest, so I don't know that I'll ever get to play this game in a competitive manner. I would love to, though. It's just fun. It's very button-mashy, if I'm being honest, but I'm kind of fine with that, because it's what I do in most fighters anyway, because I'm awful at this entire genre. And he got rage and wasted my atomic breath. That was cool. If this was the Godzilla from the anime movie I just watched, Ghidorah wouldn't stand a chance, although he is mentioned in it, so maybe he would actually, but this version of Ghidorah wouldn't, but this also isn't that version of Godzilla, so. Irrelevant statements are irrelevant. Yeah, killed him. Die. This game is actually pretty funny at times, too, because Godzilla's really vivid, and all the other monsters, but, you know, I'm playing as Godzilla. They're all very vividly animated. It's pretty funny. We are about to complete the first playthrough, though, because we're about to battle good old, Mecha Godzilla. Ooh, Mecha Godzilla. I'm going to talk about him. Because if you aren't aware, the new Godzilla anime film just debuted on Netflix. It's been out in Japan for a while, but I don't like to spoil things. And I just watched it, and what they did with Mecha Godzilla was pretty bizarre. He is buildings. He's literally a city. It's really, really funny. Again, I'm not complaining. It's just odd. Like, this is Mecha Godzilla, specifically the 90s version, but that's a Mecha Godzilla, not, you know, a city. Mecha Godzilla is a lot of fun to play as, and he's also one of the last characters you unlock. And I'm kind of wrecking him right now, but he's really, really powerful. Especially like in single player mode, he usually wins, basically. He's pretty hard to beat. Well, I say that as I absolutely annihilate him, like needlessly. Usually, he gets really hard if you can escape this internal arena, which you can, because these big, like, I guess, like bleacher things are actually like shield generators, I guess. So, if any one of them gets destroyed in the fight, which typically one will, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna have any issues. I think I'm gonna beat him. But, typically, if any one of those gets destroyed, as normally happens to me, yeah, like that, the shield goes down, and then the entirety of the mothership city becomes available, which is cool. But, it means that there's health pickups, and then he just flies over to them at a ludicrous rate, just constantly picking up health and stuff, and it makes it completely unwinnable. So that's pretty annoying. Although, yeah, no, he's pretty much dead. Yep, there he goes. Okay, that was probably the easiest fight I had the entire game. And then I get teleported off the ship against my will. I wanted to live here, but tragically, Godzilla doesn't always get what he wants. I also have to skip around in the credits because it's the only copyrighted music in the game. Like, I'm sure it's all copyrighted, but it's the only traditional Godzilla music in the game, so I don't want to have that spoiled for me. He's so goofy and dumb. I spelled my name yes. How'd I beat the game in 4 minutes? I must use like, oh, I think I used like an unlimited energy cheat and just spammed fireballs. Apparently it was on easy. So that's probably why it was incredibly simple. You know what? We're going to try it on hard. I'm going to go to wherever settings are, and I'm going to put it on the hardest difficulty. Rounds, sure, whatever. Yeah. We're going to put it on hard mode, and I'm going to do the whole thing as Mecha Godzilla. Because Mecha Godzilla is cool. And he's not buildings. He is not a city. These are all the characters, though. Like, these are the default main characters. Including 2 Godzillas, 2 Ghidorahs, and if you have the Xbox version, 2 Mecha Godzillas. So, not a ton of originality in terms of the roster. That's probably the game's biggest weakness. The monsters look pretty good. I mean, they all look kind of low poly, and the Godzilla model looks really good here when it's at, like, you know, 480p upscaled to 1080p. But he looks dumb up close, like in the thumbnail where I use the render of him. But like at a really high quality, it looks terrible. We're gonna be playing as Mecha Godzilla. Yeah. Versus Anguirus. Let's go, boys. Come on. Alright, well, that didn't go super well. All the monsters play pretty similarly. Although Mecha Godzilla has apparently a weaker beam attack than Godzilla does. They all have different attributes. Like, I'll be honest, I don't play as Mecha Godzilla, so I don't really know his moves like I know Godzilla's really well, because he's my fave. I like Godzilla. but I don't really know what Mechagodzilla does other than apparently get grabbed and annihilated in combat. This game doesn't have very much single-player content. That's kind of its weakest link, honestly. It's fun, but it's definitely meant for multiplayer, and I'm playing this by myself because this is a weekly stream video. Although it's a fun game to stream because I'm bad at it, and, you know, it doesn't really matter if I'm good or bad at it if no one's watching, so I'm happy with that. Die. Yeah, some of the monsters can fly. All the winged ones, and, well, not all of them, because Destroya can't fly for whatever reason. And neither can Megalon, even though he flies in his movie. So, never mind. Not all of the monsters who are winged can fly. Some of the winged monsters can fly. Die. But, wow, I missed with, like, everything there. I think I'm going to just mess around with all the various monsters. I don't think I'm going to do, like, another full playthrough like I just did with 90s Godzilla. I think I'll do, like, a, where's the one I want to use? The really funny, helicopter kick thing. Does he just not have that move? Was I wrong? Oh, yeah, I have wind, too. I mean, I don't know how I can do that, but I can. Yeah, I'll beat Anguirus, then. I'm gonna go to the menu, and then we're gonna switch to versus mode and just mess around with all the monsters because they're all perfect in their own ways. At least kind of in some way. Also, thank God for the Wavebird. The Wavebird's so good. That's the wireless GameCube controller, and I love it. Just realized I was streaming on unlisted. That's probably not helpful. And the game's wrong. I have to change stream settings. It didn't update them like it's supposed to. Ah. There we go. But yeah, Mechagodzilla is actually a lot of fun to play as, I think. I'm gonna finish this match. Actually, I'm not going to. We're gonna switch to versus mode, and we are going to mess around with that. Check my stream settings real quick. Yeah, okay. And versus mode is your typical tournament fighter mode. And then I'll continue to talk about Godzilla. So there's all these monsters you can play as. I'll do Godzilla 2000 because I like him. And we'll fight Gigan, because I was just fighting Gigan. And then we'll discuss... I actually think I have everything unlocked, like, naturally. Because I love this game. We'll go to Monster Island, why not? During the day, because we played there at night already. But... Oh, look at him, he's all green. He's the only green Godzilla, in the, actual movie series. But, it's kind of weird looking too. I never was the biggest fan of this particular Godzilla design. I think it's cool, but I think he's like trying too hard. It's more or less what they based the 2014 version off of, but I actually much prefer the 2014 design. I think I like this version more than the what you call it, the 2002/2003. Blah. The one from some of the Mechagodzilla movies of the 2000s. Because this is just, he's cooler looking. But in general, I like a little more of a subdued, wow, he really launched me. I like a little more of a subdued Godzilla than this. I think the spines are a little bit much. They look cooler, again, on the American Godzilla. I think they're more appropriate. I like his orange breath, but I prefer the blue. I just think the blue breath looks cool. Plus, it's more iconic, obviously. Godzilla always has the blue atomic breath. Although I always kind of assumed that the red was more what they were going for in the black and white original movies. I could be wrong, but that's always kind of the vibe I get. I don't even know what Gigan's trying to do. He has really weird abilities in this game he's not supposed to have. He can teleport for some reason, which he cannot do in his own movie, although he could fly. So another character who could fly in his own thing that can't here. Well, not his own movie. It's a Godzilla movie. I think it's the movie Godzilla's actually in the most in the entire franchise. He's, like, in most of it. And it's not good either. It's really bad. But, like, in a funny way. I love that movie. Godzilla vs. Gigan's hilarious. I don't think there are any... oh, no, I'm wrong. I was going to say, I don't think there's any, like, modern 3D games where you can play as the, like, original Godzilla series version of the character from, like, the 60s movies. Because, I mean, the 50s, technically, the original Godzilla's dead, and you can play as him in some games. And then there's the, second Godzilla who appeared in, like, the 50s as well, from, 55. And, he's in most of the original Godzilla movies. He's the most prolific Godzilla in general, actually. So he's in the PS4 Godzilla game, which I'll stream at some other time. Originally, I was going to do that game next week, actually, because of the San Diego Comic-Con stuff. But I think we're not going to do that because I want to do stuff that is a little more diverse. I don't just want to do Godzilla stuff. I'm not sure what I'm going to be streaming next week yet. All I know is that this game is just stupidly entertaining. It really is. They did such a nice job with the old Godzilla games. I say old, I mean, I own older, because I have one for the NES that's not very good. I could do a stream of all the Nintendo Godzilla games. I actually want to do a video on those eventually, like as a proper LyingTuna episode, which would actually be a lot of fun. I have to import one of them still, but those games are fun. One of them's really expensive. Godzilla 2 for NES is crazy expensive considering how garbage it is. I want that game just to have it, because I don't collect NES, but I do collect Godzilla games, kind of. I own some, and I want to get all of the console-released ones eventually. Why did he roar? I didn't want to roar. A and X at the same time roar, and I accidentally hit both the buttons at the same time. I know a lot of people... A lot of people prefer the Xbox version of this, but I've never played the Xbox version, only the GameCube one. But honestly, from what I've seen, I don't like the visuals as much. Like, obviously, it can run in HD on a 360, so it looks nicer in that regard than, this is upscaled through, like, a $15 upscaler. So it looks worse, like, in that regard. Or actually, it's like a $40 upscaler. It was pretty expensive for, a cheap upscaler. All right, then, Gigan. You won that fight. I'll give you that one. If this was the actual movie, Godzilla would have bled everywhere whenever Gigan did that. Because Godzilla vs. Gigan is just a stupidly bloody movie for no reason. It's so funny. Although Godzilla's head does catch on fire in this game, which is funny, because the suit caught on fire a couple times in the old, like, original series. Mothra vs. Godzilla is the one where I can think of where it just full-on caught on fire. It was hilarious. Kind of a cool effect, but it was totally unintentional. When you know it was unintentional, it goes from, well, that's pretty ambitious, to, wow, that's terrible. I don't want to kill him with a get-up attack. I want to kill him with something cool. Well, that wasn't really cool. That was lame. Fine, I'll kill him with a get-up attack, but then I'll do that. And stomp on him. Yeah. Oh, man, this game's hilarious. But, yeah. Fight again? Hell no. I don't want anything to do with Gigan. But, yeah. Versus mode. Let's play as, Orga, because we haven't seen Orga yet. And we will fight Mecha Ghidorah, because I don't know, he's cool. He's actually not. He's one of those things that's actually even lamer than the original, where Ghidorah's really, he's cool in like a really weird way. Like his design shouldn't work, but it kind of does. Mecha Ghidorah's is even worse. It's like, oh, let's take that design that barely works and then just make some metal on it. But I quite like playing as Orga. He's powerful. He's actually really overpowered, which makes sense when you consider the fact that he's really hard to unlock. You have to like do everything else in the game, and then you have to beat the game on the hard mode as Godzilla 2000, which is what he's from, without using any help, or without having to start over. You have to do it pretty much perfectly. He's actually really hard to play as, but he's really fun. I also have it on the hardest difficulty, and Ghidorah is one of the best characters in the game, so like I don't really expect to win this, but man, it's fun to play as Orga. That's his rage attack. It's pretty OP. I almost was able to make that actually, but I couldn't quite cut it. Yeah, that was terrible. I did an awful job there. Well, let's see what happens next. Because I might win this round. Well, that didn't go anywhere near him. I think the thing that makes him hard is that, like, well, Mecha King Ghidorah actually has a healing move, too. Because his, when he blocks, he heals. Because, I mean, I haven't really been blocking, but you can block in this game because, you know, it's a fighting game. It would be kind of dumb if you couldn't. I'm just trying to pick up Ghidorah. He just doesn't want to get picked up. I just want to see the new Ghidorah because it just sounds like he's going to be incredibly cool. He does have a very powerful beam, though. I remember that about Orga. Because I know he shows up in survival mode and stuff once you've unlocked him, and, like, I couldn't beat him. They really lowered his, you know, power and stuff in the sequels because he was really OP. Different monsters also have different recharge rates, as you can kind of see from Orga taking forever to recharge his beam. Which I'm fine with that because, you know, it adds a little bit of diversity to the game. Orga's really weird. He's a strange monster because he's like a partial clone of Godzilla, but not really a clone of Godzilla. Like, he doesn't look anything like Godzilla because he isn't one, but his head looks like Godzilla's because he is kind of one. And, oh man, he's so weird. He was like an alien spaceship. For most of the movie, he's in a spaceship. And then he comes out as this ugly-looking, like, really badly CGI'd, just sort of alien tentacled thing. And then he shows up as Orga after he, like, clones Godzilla, and they say, Regenerator G1, and it's really cheesy. And then he's Orga, and he's super cool looking. And he also just annihilates Godzilla in their fight until he eats Godzilla, which, you know, naturally lets Godzilla win. Yeah, that's right. I can win. I can beat you, Mecha Ghidorah, Mecha Ghidra, Mecha King Ghidorah, whatever you want to be called these days. One last match. It's a best of 3. Can I do it? Well, at this rate, maybe. Oh, actually, I'm recharging really fast. I think Mecha Ghidorah used one of his missiles on me when I wasn't looking. Because I know that actually does slow you down. I didn't realize. I thought Orga had, like, the slowest recharge rate in the game, but it looks like his is actually the fastest. I was wrong. I don't typically play as him, so that might be why. I know in the sequels he's much weaker. Because I do want to eventually stream, at the very least, Save the Earth, which is this game's direct sequel. And I like this one a lot better. But I know other people will argue that Save the Earth is better. That's why my recharge thing was really slow. That's Hedorah. He's a monster from the worst of the original Godzilla series, according to some, and the best according to others. I say it sucked, but it was funny, so it's all good. But he's basically a pollution monster, and he's polluting the air or whatever, so I don't know how that affects monsters being able to shoot energy beams, but apparently it does. Yeah, take that. I don't know what that did, but it did something. The monster movements in this game are hilarious to me because they just sort of jump all over the place. Because jumping is like your dodge pretty much, which, I mean, it makes sense. It's just, you know, it's funny because there's these giant kaiju and they just leap around like buffoons. Like, look at him. Blip, blip. Okay, he doesn't want to jump. There he goes. Godzilla Unleashed has the weirdest jumping mechanics. They just jump like they're on the moon. Wow, that was cheap. Thanks, Ghidorah. At least I can throw buildings. Apparently I can't throw buildings. No, I want it. Come on, give me it. There we go. Thanks for not doing anything to try and dodge that, Ghidorah. It's cool. It's really cool of you. I guess Hedorah left. On account of the fact that he's, not draining my energy horribly. Which is what was causing it earlier. I didn't realize Hedorah was in this arena. Hedorah is the worst part of this game, because he just shows up and totally messes up the mechanics. I guess I forgot to mention the stuff I wanted to talk about for the new Godzilla movie. So I have 20 minutes left in the stream. I guess I'll address that. Man, it was weird because Godzilla was in it, but he was he was the same as the last movie, which is to say a very different but very cool incarnation of the character. Then Mechagodzilla was supposed to be the foe. I'll fight him. And I like Mechagodzilla a lot, so I was psyched. And then he shows up, but he's just literally a city. Like, he's just a bunch of buildings, and it was really, really lame. And then he was, like, intelligent metal. I don't know. I liked it. It was cool. But it wasn't Mechagodzilla, like, at all in any sense. So that kind of infuriated me. Well, not infuriated me. It's not the right word. Because, again, I still had a lot of fun watching it. It just confused me, I guess is more accurate. Because, like, why would they do that? Man, Anguirus sucks. I sort of surprised that he's not gonna be in the new Godzilla like Legendary series from Legendary Pictures, the currently going ones in the US. Yeah, that was my bad. But they have like no desire to use him, from what I can tell. He just isn't showing up. I really thought he was going to. There's Big Ben. That works. I know you can roll into a ball. I just don't know how to do it. Because I think this game actually inspired the one movie because he rolls around in a ball the whole time. But that's from this game. But I don't know how to do it. Come on, I'm trying to mule kick you. Yeah. Can I just spam this mule kick and win the match? That would be hilarious. It also looks entirely possible. No, turn around and mule kick him. Yeah, mule kick. Mule kick to win, Anguirus. Well, that knocked him down. To my knowledge, you pretty much always cause knockback with Anguirus. Oh, that's his rage attack. It's just a bunch of stuff, and if you're not near him and there's stuff in the way, you can't really do anything. I don't know why Mechagodzilla has a pain animation. Like, I think it's just recycled from Godzilla's, which makes some sense, but, like, not that much sense. Because, you know, he's a robot. Why would he be in any kind of pain? Yeah, that was my bad. I just want to use my cool breath attack on him. Yeah, I didn't know it gave me super armor. That's dope. Yeah, I'm going to win. I'm going to kill Mechagodzilla. I'm going to kill a whole city. Well, if it was the new movie, I'd be killing a city. Maybe I won't win, actually. No, I did. Cool. Die. Die. All right. Well, he was already dead, so I have no shame in missing. I tried to dodge by jumping. It doesn't really work. I think it's a setting to like reset the arena, and I just ignored it. I could have had it on, but I didn't want to. I can make him jump around like a buffoon. That's pretty fun. Wow, I'm doing terrible on health. But good thing I can do this for some reason. Yeah, I don't know why he can shoot lasers out of himself. That is not typically an ability of Anguirus. I mean, it's neat, I guess, like in a not at all neat kind of way. Yeah, I have no idea. It's just a thing he can do. But it's cool. Like, I'm certainly not complaining. Yeah, I'm gonna lose. He's annihilating me. Okay, not really now. He's kind of messed himself up. Bye-bye. This game got really good reviews when it came out, and then both of its sequels got awful reviews, and I kind of get why, but at the same time, like, it's still fun. Like, all three of them are fun games, and in particular, this one's really well designed, and it mechanically just works really well. Although I can't remember how to make Anguirus roll into a ball, so that's making me mad. Cool, I got rage. Let's see what I can do to see if I can kill this idiot with it. It's far enough away. He's too far away. Yeah, he has a really short-range rage attack. A short-ranged attack, I should say. Ha ha ha! That made no sense and was not funny. I don't think he has any health left. I think I'm just attacking a dead guy, basically. Which is cool. I'm not complaining. It's funny. See, I think this might be the last match of the stream. Will be Ghidorah, and we'll fight Rodan because, you know, it's topical for the new movie, and I like movies. I've been to LA. Let's go to LA. I think it's the only city on this list of cities that I've actually been to, and now that I think about it. Ghidorah is seriously the coolest thing, though. Like, I don't even know why he's cool, because in theory his design makes no sense and is completely impractical. But, like, he just kind of works. He's like, I mean, he's a Hydra pretty much, but he doesn't have enough heads. One thing that's kind of cool is that buildings collapsing does actually impact the fight. Because if they fall on you, it hurts, which, you know, makes sense. Makes a little less sense and kind of ruins that mechanic is that, Rodan, you all right there? All right, then. I can fly too. See? Aha. Blocking's really effective in this game, and you can also make King Ghidorah do this. So that's handy. Ghidorah is also one of the monsters that can fly. Rodan has the best flight in the game, which, you know, makes some sort of sense. I'm pretty sure in the sequel, Mothra is also really good at flying. But, you know, she's not playable in this game. We only saw her once, so. Wow, I did not succeed in shooting Rodan a single time. That's kind of pathetic. All right, then. Now I'm over here. Again, I really like how they gave him his Showa sound effects just so that they were there, and then they relegated all the Heisei ones to what's his name? Mecha King Ghidorah. So that was pretty cool of them. It was actually really cleverly done. Again, I think most of this game is really cleverly done. It's very authentic to Godzilla. Like that's the thing that they got best in this whole thing. His gravity beams are also really powerful when you get all three going. Because the way he works is that he each head shoots its own beam, obviously, because, you know, 3 heads. But in terms of the game, he does the 3 heads, like, one at a time. Like, the first third of the thing is the first head, then the second third of the bar adds the second head. Until you reach the end, and then you have all 3. Which I just think is such a cool way to do it. Though the way charging your beam actually works differently in this game. I've been to this airport. I did not destroy it in real life. It also looked nothing like this. This was here, though. That's the only thing that really resembles the original. Die, Rodan, die. So yeah, he had 2 beams there. I think it might actually be you have to have it literally the whole way up to have all 3 of the heads engage in the enemy. Which, you know, I think that's a clever way to use Ghidorah's unique proportions and unique anatomy to the game's advantage mechanically. Die. Yeah, see, even though the beams didn't actually hit him, they, like, more or less forced them to. Because the rage attack is your super, so they sort of buff everything. The hitboxes are very disjointed. As Godzilla, it's actually pretty easy to juggle enemies with... Oh, man. That's one thing that sucks. You can't turn around, so if you fire a beam, that's, it's fired. That's the end of story. Come here, Rodan. Jeez. Fine. Screw you. I'll get a beam thing. Die. I think we have time for one more match before I end the stream. So let's do that. Who should I play as? I'll do random for both character and opponent.
Versus mode. Select arena.
And we'll go to Tokyo because, you know, Godzilla. Hopefully it's not something really boring in terms of, like, my team up. Well, that's really boring. I don't really want to be Ghidorah for the last match. I was just him. I'll swap out. I'll be Godzilla. I'll finish it off with Godzilla 90s, given that he was the, he is the thumbnail guy in the first half of the stream was him, but that was unlisted. I forgot to publicize the stream, so, yeah. Well, I did. It didn't update properly. And then I'll fight a random monster. And we'll go to Tokyo because the 90s Godzilla actually went here quite a few times. He overused Tokyo. I mean, Godzilla in general overuses Tokyo, but it was probably the worst in the 90s. And nah, actually, it was worse in the Showa era because he went to Tokyo all the time then. And we're fighting in Gears. This was actually Godzilla's very first enemy ever. They didn't fight here. They didn't go to Tokyo in that movie because Tokyo was still destroyed from the first Godzilla movie. They went to Osaka. For the plot of the second Godzilla movie, Godzilla Raids Again, it's so goofy. It's like, oh, Godzilla's there. Oh, no, it's also the second Godzilla as well. It didn't really make any sense. Die, building. Well, that didn't really help. Die, building. Yeah, it fell on me though, so that's not good. That was a scene in the 2014 Godzilla movie. Remember, a building falls on him and he like stares at a human like really longingly, and then he gets covered in dust and he shows up 5 minutes later and breathes fire down a thing's mouth, and it was really cool. It wasn't this Godzilla though. It was the one from 2014. He's not in this game. On account of this game being like 12 years older than that movie. Rodan. And Gears actually has the best defense in this game, on account of his giant, massive armadillo shell. If I remember, the 2 Godzillas are actually really subtly different as well. Like, 90s Godzilla, who I'm playing as, has a more powerful breath attack, but he's slower. Whereas the 2000s Godzilla has a weaker breath attack, but is faster. And then aside from that, they're identical. Which isn't overly impressive, I guess, in terms of, like, differences for decloning. Like, this game actually has a very major lack of variety in its monster cast. It's the game's biggest fault, actually, because Save the Earth, the sequel, improves that. The monster roster is great, but in terms of gameplay, it's just vastly inferior, because it's just slower and clunkier. At least I think so. Although it adds beam locks, which are really fun. So it does do some things right. But Godzilla won. I'll do one more match because... Oh, wait. It's still not done. Yeah, we'll do one more match, and then that'll be the end of stream for tonight and for this week. Can I juggle him? No, he didn't bounce high enough. Dang it. Sometimes you can. Like that. Yeah. In Save the Earth, you can juggle them all over the place with Godzilla's uppercut. It's really, really dumb. This game, it's a little more randomized, so you really can't do that. Also, I got Rage, so poor Anguirus is just going to get annihilated in this final chunk. I remember as a kid, I was very angry that Godzilla could shoot fireballs because I was like, Godzilla doesn't shoot fire in any of the movies. Which, of course, is true. Up until Shin Godzilla, which, you know, wasn't really relevant when this game was made. But as an adult, I think him shooting fire makes absolute sense because, you know, why would he have blue atomic breath? What even does that mean? No one really knows what his atomic breath is. I mean, I'm sure there's like an explanation, and some fans are outraged by the statement that no one knows what it really is. But I certainly have no idea what it's supposed to be. I guess like a plasma discharge? But they just call it heat, and that doesn't mean anything. So I have no idea. Die, Anguirus. Die. Like you did in your first appearance and then came back and there was just a slightly different Anguirus. Although it was the same Godzilla, which makes me question why Godzilla was cool with you showing up to help him, even though, like, you know, he killed you earlier. Whatever. They also talked in the one movie, in Godzilla vs. Gigan, and they have a full-on conversation. It was really, really weird. That movie as a whole is really bizarre. I love it. You want to, like, stop doing that then, Anguirus? I'm going to finish you off with the atomic breath. Maybe. Okay, I will not finish you off with the atomic breath. I lied. Although I very nearly finished you off. Oh, I wanted Mothra. How did you do that? I was trying to do that. Hey, there's Mothra. I'm going to kill Mothra. That's like my new goal for the whole day. Go away, Anguirus. I don't want to hurt you. I want to kill Mothra. Go away. Go away. I want to kill Mothra. Okay, now I have to kill Anguirus because otherwise I'll die. Can I kill Mothra in the meantime? Oh, so close, so close. I cannot kill Mothra. Damn. That is absolutely tragic. I'm going to end the stream right there for tonight. I might actually do a stream. It'll either be tomorrow or I'll hold off and make it next week's stream because Wednesday night is going to be my new streaming night. I can always do other streams when I want to, but I actually want to do a stream of Sonic Mania as Ray because I did the Encore mode stream last night, and that was just hilariously entertaining. So, in any case, that's it for tonight with Godzilla Destroy All Monsters Melee. I'm sure I'll revisit this game. This is one of my favorites on the GameCube, and it's the best Godzilla game ever made in my humblest of opinions. But in any case, I'll see everyone next time. Bye-bye.